All right. You get to choose first. I don't even know if you've read all of these names.
I saw some of them. Um,
So by the
so
way, there's a logical order at the very least. So it's the order of the actual franchises added in Smash. So if you go to the Smash Brothers website and you go to like fighters and you list them by series, it's by that order. And then
okay,
there's a couple little things like for Banjo, when you get to the Banjo section, it's just all rareware properties like Conquer and Battletoads and Perfect Dark. And then since Terry is like a King of Fighters representative too, but he also came with Metal Slug stuff, he's just all the SNK stuff is
where's what's her name from King of Fighters?
Mai.
Maybe
Yes,
that's why she's not in it because Sakurai's been putting her in his back pocket.
yeah, that would be cool, but
Yo,
I
there's some
actually
cool
didn't
ones.
research.
I gotta go for a safe one. I gotta go safe to start off.
I'm gonna.
Jeez,
Do you want me to
this
just
is so
explain this real
stressful.
quick? Explain this real quick. So then it goes to Minecraft,
Sure.
then online improvements. Okay, so let me explain. Just to remind you. All right, so if you get the character by the end of the year, you get 10 points. If they end up being a Mii costume, you get 3 points. If they're a spirit, you get 1 point. If you get online improvements and they improve the online, you get 6 points. But if you put a number by online improvements and they don't improve the online, you lose 6 points. It's the only one where you can actually lose points. And then that's it. But yeah, so after online improvements, it's Nintendo characters and then Konami characters cuz Snake's next and then Sega characters and then Capcom characters and then
Yep.
Square characters and
I,
then
I
here
I think
are
I think I
Tecmo
get how it works.
Microsoft, Valve, Blizzard, Ubisoft, and then it's kind of just a mess after that of like one-offs. Riot,
Yeah, I assumed. Okay, I'm
Epic.
gonna pick Dante.
Dante's your number one.
That was the first one in here that I was like, I think is pretty good.
All right, this is my safest bet all day.
Mm, that's a good one.
Do we want to explain a little bit, especially for the first ones? There's so much logic you can apply to like the obvious ones
Well, we haven't
relatively
had a
easy
Capcom character,
in either
right,
path.
in either pass, and Dante is probably the most logical one.
We also haven't seen the Monster Hunter Mii costume, so there's
That's
still they
true.
could be saving it. I'm not saying that as a slight against Dante. I'm actually saying that because there's two Mii costumes left. I'll just preface this. There's the Monster Hunter Mii costume and there's the Lloyd Irving Mii
Hey, get
costume.
off my phone. I'll see you soon. The door's unlocked.
Okay. um, so that could mean that there's probably a Capcom character coming, and yeah, I mean I can let you continue because it was your choice.
Oh, I feel like they're gonna add Crash.
I
I
was
feel
just
like,
saying you should explain Dante further because there's a lot.
oh, he's sick. I think
Okay,
he'd
he's
be cool.
cool. Devil May
I
Cry
don't
is
like.
like the original action game, right?
I feel like he's a totally requested
He's in his
character,
smoke.
and like he uh he just kind of like fits. Like, I feel like he'd be so perfect in Smash. He's in that same kind of thing. It's like when he's put in Smash, like there's no way this
You're
character's not
clean.
busted when they first come out.
Yeah. And it's like with Resident Evil kind of already represented and with Monster Hunter already represented, like out of all the Capcom franchises, if you eliminate Street Fighter, Mega Man, Resident Evil, and Monster Hunter, and two of those aren't even necessarily, all of them are eliminated because we just got a Final Fantasy character, right? So,
Uh-huh.
but if you look at what's not represented, I feel like Devil May Cry is such a historic and important game that's like it's so strange that it's not included, especially like you said that Dante has such like a like funny personality and like a cool like he checks all the boxes that make a Smash character a memorable character. That he's funny,
Yeah.
he's cool, he's got a really unique move set, and he's got like
He
good
just
music.
he can transition really well into it. Okay, you want to explain Hayabusa?
Yeah, so
I feel hasn't
Hayabusa,
he been rumored for literally like the entirety of
he's
this
like
game?
yeah, he's like the last character that's like been like hard mentioned by like the quote unquote leaker side of the Smash discussion base. So Tecmo Koei, right? They're probably the most important third party to Nintendo in terms of like publishing on Switch that isn't already represented in Smash. Like outside of Mojang and Capcom and Square, they made a Zelda game essentially. They made two. They were extremely vital to publishing Three Houses. They even said like Three Houses probably wouldn't have came out if it wasn't for Tecmo Koei. And just in terms of like Japanese companies that aren't represented in Smash, after Atlas was added and SNK was added, it's like there's Arxis and then there's Tecmo Koei in terms of like really really big companies, and then there's not a lot after that that are like of the scale of like Capcom and Square Enix and all this. So it's like also Ninja Gaiden itself is like an epic franchise, and if Tecmo Koei had like an individual mascot, it would probably be Hayabusa just
Mm-hmm.
because he's in Dead or Alive, he's in the Warriors games, he's even in Halo, like as like a reference. Like Ninja
Yeah.
Gaiden is probably their most iconic to like a regular like dude. Like if you asked them what Dead or Alive is, if you asked them what Neo was, or you asked them what Ninja Gaiden was, they would probably recognize Ninja Gaiden. And they could do like a retro NES design for him if they wanted to, or they could do a modern design. You could switch between them, which you can't really do for other Tecmo Koei characters because Ninja Gaiden is like the most NES like related character. So I think it's
Yeah.
just such a perfect. It's like a Simon Belmont tier like character for like retro,
Mm-hmm.
and then he
It's good retro and just overall it's kind of like a cool fits that like chic Greninja kind of niche.
yeah.
I would assume. I mean, maybe not. Maybe he's
Well, he could use more
like
kunai and more like bombs, and he would have like that
yeah.
classic attack in front of him as like his fair. So it'd be cool.
Do you want me to explain Crash now?
Yeah, going to Crash.
Sony rep,
Well,
like a
Activision,
big mascot.
like a PlayStation type mascot.
See, I personally don't think it'd be that cool, but like I feel like there are people that would think Crash is a pretty cool character to put in Smash. Uh, I
He's
feel
like a
like
lot of people's like Banjo, like their childhood character.
yeah, it, like I just it's one of those things that if I had a feeling of what characters I think are probable, he would definitely be in the top 5.
Yeah, he also fits like the aesthetic of like a mascot character super well. Like
Hmm.
you could see him stand next to like Pac-Man and
Yeah,
Sonic, and you'd feel like
Mario
yeah,
and Cloud.
yeah. Out of like a lot of these characters, he's definitely the most like mascotty, and it makes like I don't know. You could do another one of those, send the picture back in time moments with Crash. All right, I gotta really think about this. I'll go with Master Chief. I don't
Okay.
think it's super likely that they double dip on Microsoft, at least on like the core Microsoft. Like obviously Bethesda's now Microsoft, and a lot of people think like when they made the decision, it doesn't really matter, right? What companies they choose. We should say this really early that like there's no actual patterns when Sakurai picks characters, but when you're trying to predict a character, you kind of just have to make up patterns and stick with them if you want to have like a logical uh like lineup, right? But I
Yeah.
do I do think it's like unlikely, but I
Dude, I
think
need some
like
11s.
in terms of like having the most iconic franchises,
Dude.
if you're having like the main like the Nintendo mascot is Mario, right? And then Sony's mascot has always been changing, but it's always been like there's Cloud and Snake, and then there's like Crash. But like Microsoft's has always been Master Chief, and to have Master Chief and
Yeah.
Mario in the same game, or have Master Chief and Samus in the same game would just be insane. And there's so much history you could represent there too, with the music and the stage, and the spirits and the characters that might show up. It's like that would be like a moment for Smash that brings in like such a new fan base that it's never had. And like Smash has always
Yeah.
had a weak shooter representation. Like there's Splatoon, and then there's like that might like Duck Hunt.
Okay. I think they add Minda.
What?
And I have
You're
a reason.
joking, right?
Hear me out. Hear me out. Hear me out. To celebrate the Zelda anniversary, they're gonna add some Zelda character. Watch. And I think Minda would be cool, but and it could have like a callback to like how like Zelda used to be able to transform into Sheik. Minda
Yeah.
can transform between like the normal, like the small Minda, like wolf riding Minda, and uh the like like the more like human Minda.
Yeah, like her true
I
form.
don't I don't yeah, the true form. I don't remember that. Even though I know she is an assist trophy.
What would her stage be?
Just one of those, like it could be what is it, Zach? What the fuck
Zack?
is this?
Zant?
Is that his name? Zant's castle,
Like the
that
Twilight
area?
Realm?
Yeah. It could also be like the cool kind of like, I can't recall it exactly, but I feel like there is definitely, no, I think it would be the Twilight Kingdom, Twilight Realm. I mean, I think it's really unlikely. I just
Yeah, I'm surprised you
I
wrote
think I'm just kind of, it's my random. Okay, you go.
that. I don't want to clown on you. People are gonna clown on you. No.
I don't care.
Suppose I'll do. I'll just play it safe. I suppose. Do Monster Hunter.
Monster Hunter, pretty
Between
much for the
like
same reasoning as Dante.
similar reasoning as Dante, they already have Rathalos in the game. They don't have Monster Hunter. They do have the Monster Hunter Mii costume missing. That was in the last game. They already did bring back Capcom Mii costumes in a previous patch where they brought in Zero and they brought in Mega Man X costumes and a few others, I think. But so they did their Capcom wave and they specifically left out Monster Hunter, you know? And there wasn't the same thing they did with Square, where when they brought Square characters in, they brought back Slime, and then they didn't bring back Chocobo, and that ended up being because they're bringing back Final Fantasy characters. They didn't bring back Geno either, but they brought back Geno as a Mii costume. So they could do that with Monster Hunter, where when they bring in Dante, they bring back the Monster Hunter costume. But it could also be because Monster Hunter is a character. Monster Hunter is arguably Capcom's biggest franchise now. I don't actually know which is bigger between Monster Hunter and Resident Evil, but it's pretty freaking huge. And yeah,
On the other side of the Master Chief coin, I think Doomslayer would be super cool. I think the music would be good. And he just like fits that. As for like you said, there's not like a ton of shooter representation.
yeah. And Doom is like the original single player like gore
Yeah,
shooter, but also just like it is like the OG shooter. Like
it's cool because it's kind of a retro rep, even though it's really relevant right now.
yeah, it has that effect of like there's really not a lot of other franchises that were super big at like the beginning of like pioneering like PC gaming and then like came back like disappeared and then came back and was still super good. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Like it's one of the best games that come out nowadays and it was one of the best back in the day and inspired so many other games. And Smash not only doesn't have a lot of shooter reps, but like it doesn't really have any PC representation outside of Steve, which isn't super retro like Doom. So I think that's like one of the best picks you could possibly pick for Smash. Is like a Doom character. I had one. I gotta find him. I actually have to command F here. Alright. I'm going with Lloyd from Tales of Symphonia. Now, Namco, very uh, well known at this point. They only have one character in Smash despite developing the game. If you look at their catalog of games, their three biggest franchises are Pac-Man, Dark Souls, and Tales. And between Tales and Dark Souls, I think Tales fits more of like the Sakurai kind of bias category of like Japanese RPG type games. And Lloyd is super highly requested on the Japanese end. He is like consistently higher than even Sora on like Japanese polls and stuff. He's been like highly requested for since Brawl for like both sides, but he's like really really demanded for Smash from the Japanese end. And this pass so far, it had Sephiroth, which was like probably really highly requested from a Japanese side, but Min Min and Steve are not that. And I think if they want to do like a huge like because they tend to do like characters like like Ridley and Banjo are like Western representatives that like Western fans really want, and like Hero is like definitely a character that Japanese fans want. Then I think they trend towards Lloyd rather than a Dark Souls character if they want to add in our Namco rep. And then there's also the fact that they added Gil from Tower of Druaga, which is a Namco character, but they didn't bring back the Lloyd costume in the last Nintendo Direct. And the fact that that costume in particular is still missing, despite Heihachi also coming back who's a Namco character, it's like kind of crazy. Like it seems to me that they're saving him. And he wouldn't just be in our anime swordsman because he uses two swords, which somehow has not been like a realized moveset in Smash as a dual wielding character. There's Pit, who like splits his bow, but that's not really like two swords like Lloyd would have. So yeah.
Um, damn. See, there's a lot that I'm like totally could be in Smash because they just fit Smash, but I don't think they're going to be due to who's already got characters in this pass. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I think Laura Croft is totally a character that would be like kind of cool to have in Smash, but she's not going to be in it.
Yeah.
Damn, dude, it's already kind of hard. I might be just missing someone. I mean, it's impossible to say there's a free character anymore.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do Spyro. He kind of fits that other Sony mascot character. I personally would prefer Spyro over Crash, but that's because I like grew up playing Spyro a ton. I only played Crash, like one Crash game. I played pretty much all the Spyro games.
Yeah.
So,
He'd have a pretty
I
cool
mean,
moveset too.
yeah, he'd be interesting. I think he would have a glide mechanic since they already did it with Steve.
Yeah.
I think he would have a glide mechanic for his recovery and be kind of cool. He'd probably have I think he wouldn't even have an up B recovery. I think what he would have is he would just have multiple jumps and then he can glide. And then he has a unique up B. And I think that'd be a really interesting and unique character.
Alright. I pick Bill and Lance from Contra.
Dude, I kid you not. I was like, that'd be such a cool like duo character.
I don't think they would be a duo character. I think it'd be
You
like
don't?
Steve and Alex, where you switch between them
Oh,
like
that's
costumes
lame.
because they
I was
play.
thinking it'd be tag team.
They could, but that would be. I feel like that'd be cancer to play as because it's like you'd probably be like an AI character like Nana. But I just said because on the fighter pass, right? They do Steve and then the Ambersim and then Alex, even though they're separate. So I just wrote it like that. But they would be sick because they have like the directional bullets and so many weapons from Contra. And Contra's just a classic ass game. Like that is like it's still probably one of the, like, it might be the hardest game I've ever played. It's so hard, and that game pretty much invented the Konami code, which is like the cheat code. Like everybody
Hmm.
knows that code. And it's fucking cool. It's a cool game, and it's weird that it's on Smash because it's like out of all like the classic NES games, like you have Mario and all those Nintendo games, and you have Castlevania, and you have Mega Man, and I feel like Contra is like so close to like that next game, and they keep putting it in like the Nintendo minis. You know, they put like Final Fantasy, which is in Smash, and they put Castlevania and Mega Man that are in Smash, and they put Contra, which
Aren't
is
there not even spirits?
no. But I don't think there's any Konami spirits that aren't Castlevania and um, Snake. I'm not even sure if Bomberman has a spirit, even though he's already in the game.
Uh
So
huh.
out of all the Konami representatives, they could do Frogger, right? Or they could do Bomberman, although they just added a Bomberman costume. That's literally the Bomberman model. And then they could do Silent Hill, which I think is like just like Silent Hill is cool, but like I don't know if anyone really is like itching for a character. But I think it's interesting to note that that Sephiroth trailer, where he fights literally everybody, didn't include. It included Richter, who's a Konami character. It didn't include Simon, and it didn't include Snake, who both have CG models that were in World of Light. And he doesn't even fight Simon or Snake in his trailer, where like Terry
Yeah.
wasn't in it, who didn't have a CG model, but he still beat up Terry. And even Bayo just randomly shows up to get beat. So like Snake's a really good character to pair with the Contra characters because he has like grenades and stuff and like rocket launchers, and he's a Konami character, so they could like play into that.
Hmm.
So
Yeah,
I
I
think it would be
agree.
really cool. And there hasn't been a Konami DLC character yet. Although a point against it is that they put the Bomberman costume with Steve instead of like saving it for like a Konami pass. But I think it would be so cool to have Contra and Smash.
I'm gonna flip your Lloyd. I'm gonna go Dark Souls because I want it.
Yeah, that would definitely be the other de facto Namco rep. I feel like, especially with Tekken out of the picture, kinda. And it's also it's like an acclaimed franchise, like super acclaimed, super iconic, especially in the West. And then like it has so much to pull from because there's so many Dark Souls games. They could even pull from Sekiro if
Hmm.
they wanted to, and Bloodborne. And even like Mario Odyssey, like having that like weird Dark Souls-esque like world in it, it's just got such an iconic like style to it where there's not a lot of like it's like pretty modern because it started at like PS2, right?
Yeah, I think it, or maybe, well, Demon Souls was 2009, so that was the PS3.
Damn. So like it's like a pretty modern franchise and it's already like one of the most iconic and like acclaimed IPs there pretty
I mean,
much is.
people say it essentially started a genre.
Yeah. And there's not a lot of like games that could do that in like the 3D era, like after things have been established, you know.
Hmm.
So that would definitely be like a franchise and more than deserves like a character in Smash. I'll go with Arl. So I don't know if you know who this character is. They're the main
It's the
character.
girl from Puyo Puyo, right?
Yeah, she's essentially like in terms of Puyo Puyo characters, she's pretty much the most iconic. Like it's not even very close. And she's also a character like Lloyd that's like super highly requested on Japanese polls. Like really surprisingly highly requested. Puyo Puyo is like a pretty big franchise. There's already like Tetris representation in Smash, but there's still zero Puyo Puyo anything. Not even a spirit of like the little ball or like a
Hmm.
stage or an assist. Like an assist trophy is such a given for that franchise, I feel like. But they've been like actively dodging it, I feel like. So in terms of like Sega characters, because there hasn't been a Sega character since Joker, they could definitely pull from Puyo Puyo. It even had like an Easter egg in Sonic Mania. So that's really all my logic. I don't really know a lot about her. I think she has like a decent design. I just think it's like a franchise that would fit.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Hear me out. I don't think his spirit deconfirms him. I think he's a completely possible Capcom rep. If they don't go Dante or Monster Hunter, they're gonna go Resident Evil.
They could go Phoenix, right?
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, that's my reasoning. I mean, he'd be sick. A lot of these are just like I would like to see them. Like I'm trying so hard to not just pick characters I want to be in the game.
Yeah, it's hard not to get really biased.
Okay, your go.
Honestly, I'm gonna go with Phoenix. I think Capcom has so many iconic characters that they could pull from.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Phoenix is as likely as the other three, but he would fit the game so well, possibly the most, just from like he's just so cartoony, you know, and he
He's goofy.
has like all these like animations that would fit Smash, like his objection, like he has possibly, despite his game being not as popular, he has some of the most iconic stuff in any video game. Like the objection is so iconic, it doesn't even make
Mm-hmm.
sense. And his music is amazing. And to have like the stage, like the courtroom stage, I'm sure there's like a bunch of crazy stuff Sakurai could think of for that stage as like gimmicks. Like like the WarioWare stage where you have to do like little puzzles. Maybe you have to like find the correct piece of evidence and prove you're innocent, or else the judge will hit you with a hammer or something stupid. I don't know. The It would be cool, I think. Even though I've never played his game, I think he's a cool character, and I really kind of just want the music.
Okay, you're gonna think I'm tripping.
You are tripping.
This is kind of the same thought process as the stupid ass Minda pick, but like, say they announce Diamond Pearl remakes, Pokemon Trainer Cynthia, Garchomp,
Lucario.
what? Lucar? No, oh, fuck off. Garchomp. Does she have a Gardevoir?
She has Spirit Tomb, which she would probably use, and
No, but
then
all the pictures I
his
see have
guest
her in
room.
Gardevoir.
She has Milotic.
Does she?
Yeah. Well, in Platinum, she has Milotic. I don't know if she does in Diamond.
I don't know. She'd be kind of cool to have.
I would
Depends
rather
on
her
the
punch and
Pokemon
kick,
trainer.
and then maybe for Smash Attack, she throws Garchomp out.
She steps on you.
I want a Pokemon trainer as like a brawler, like someone who's actually out there scrapping.
Yeah, and then you bitch about how Videl tries to have Saiyaman do her work
Well,
for
she
him.
actually fights in her show. Yeah, you're kind of tripping though. I
Okay,
would
let's
love
see your.
Cynthia's definitely a top 10 pick for me. That'd be such a cool character, because then we'd get
I was also
a new stage and new music from Gen 4.
N would be sick too, but
Because he
like
would use Reshiram and Zekrom.
he legitimately is a million times less likely than Cynthia.
Yeah, Cynthia's probably after Red and Blue and like Oak and all the Gen 1 characters. She's probably the most iconic Pokemon character. Maybe like the anime characters like Ash and Brock, and then
And
like
Misty.
and Misty,
And
and then
May.
like maybe like any protagonist. It's kind of falling apart. But in terms of like NPC, she's definitely the most popular champion, but it's not even close. Besides Red and Blue. But even I think she's more popular than Lance. I
What
don't know.
about Steven?
Steven. They could do Steven. That'd be sick. You could have Steven and versus Steve. I don't think they'll ever do a traditional Pokemon trainer again, because that's essentially making three movesets for no reason. You know? Because they can just
Mhm.
sell Garchomp as a character. That's why I think if they ever added a Pokemon trainer, I think she would just throw down, and then like for throws, she would do like she'd throw the Pokemon out and then retrieve it back. But yeah. Oh,
Okay.
she has a Como-O in Masters, so she could use that too.
Okay. What's your pick?
Uh, Definitely not Cynthia.
Don't even fucking do this. Don't even make fun of me for taking Cynthia and then hovering Gordon. You absolute madman.
Gordon's definitely
Cynthia's a
more likely
million
than
times.
Cynthia. We'll
That's
get
cap.
Gordon way
That's
before we get
such
Cynthia.
cap.
You think
That's
they'd
such
put
cap.
Cynthia, another Gen 4 character, over a brand new Half-Life, a huge game? That's a
Dude,
whole.
I don't think
You're
Valve's
representing.
ever gonna be in Smash.
Yeah, but think
You
about
can
it this
quote
way.
me.
Think about it this way, right? You're representing Microsoft with Minecraft. You're representing Sony with Cloud. What is PC gaming? That's Steam, buddy. Who is Steam's mascot? Half-Life 2 started Steam, bro.
Dude, you did not need to have this many characters. This is so stressful. At a certain point, we can't do logic and reasoning to this.
Yeah, no, obviously once we get to like Louis and Rock Pikmin, we're gonna just start picking stuff and doing short sayings. But this is the kind of content Smash people want. They want to be able to listen to people talk about characters endlessly. Because eventually we'll get to the character they want, right? And when we say Commander Keen has a lot of history, they'll be like, finally, someone recognizes. Alright.
Just pick Gordon and move on with your day.
Why would I pick Gordon? He has no chance.
Dude,
Honestly,
so many of these are literally just like not happening, not happening, not happening, not happening.
well, yeah, but Sephiroth was not happening, dude. Piranha Plant
No, I
was
mean
not
like
happening.
Gruntilda. Gruntilda is literally not going to happen.
She's the main villain of Banjo. You're gonna look like an idiot during that Banjo trailer where Gruntilda cuts Darkon in half. Alright,
Dude, pick a character.
I did, I picked Quote from Cave Story.
Oh wait, where's that?
It's in the top right.
Oh,
You
it's
scroll down.
okay. I had to scroll over. I've seen these characters. I just didn't even notice quote. Okay,
Yeah.
reasoning.
I think the music's really good. I think if they're so Cave Story is pretty much the original indie game. That way, when that game came out, people were like, one guy made a game. People were like so confused that that happened. And ironically, it was on WiiWare, so it has huge history with Nintendo. They did the 3DS game, which was pretty weird. Um, and I don't know. I think at this point, we got Sans as he'll probably be me costume. This is more of a me costume throw, I guess, but I think he'd be so cool, and his music is so good. And they could do Curly Brace as an alt like Alex, and he'd have a lot of moves because his up B he would like shoot the machine gun underneath him, and yeah, I think it'd just be cool. And he's like a classic indie character. I think if there's ever an indie character outside of Steve who's like fake indie now, it would be Sans or Quote.
I'm gonna pick Shantae and make everyone happy.
Good job.
I mean, it's a highly requested character. That's like my only reasoning.
She's in Smash 2 already.
And she has a spirit.
She has a profile picture too. You know that? Not even Rayman has a profile picture. So Cosmos would technically also be a Namco choice because Xenosaga was published by it was developed by Monolith Soft, published by Namco. So I think this is less likely than a Tales or Dark Souls character, but Xenosaga has a lot of good games, or it's like just one over. I've never played it, but apparently they're good. And Cosmos is a cool character. She's in Xenoblade 2, and she's in the Namco Capcom games. So she actually is in quite a few games. She's in Cross Zone as well. So she's crossed over with Xenoblade and Fire Emblem before. So I just think she's a really cool design, honestly.
Okay. I'm gonna do. I was literally looking at it. I'm gonna do Mortal Kombat character. I feel like that's one of those things that like if they were gonna have a fighting game rep,
Outside of Arms.
they just throw in that would be kind of a cool one. Probably be like Scorpion or Sub-Zero. Cyrix would be even cool. But I mean Scorpion, Sub-Zero are like the iconic Kung Lao, I guess. Raiden. I mean, what do you think? I feel like that's not a horrible.
Yeah, I could see Scorpion or Sub-Zero for sure, just so you could have the Street Fighter versus Mortal Kombat game, you know?
I'm surprised they've never done a me costume for them, in all honesty.
Yeah, they would work. They're a little violent. Like I know Doom. I think Doom is you could censor enough. Just Mortal Kombat, like that's part of it. I don't know. Maybe honestly they could do like a Skull Crush and get away with it for Final Smash, you know, because that's like their fatality. Like they crush your skull, it zooms in. I don't know. I'd be down for it though, because that's like a legendary crossover. That's very iconic. And the music, the Mortal Kombat theme in Smash would be crazy.
They'd have probably some good remixes.
Yeah. Ryu has fought Thanos in Marvel Infinite. Thanos is in Fortnite. Joker's in Fortnite. Joker's in Mortal Kombat.
Wait, Ryu fought Thanos?
Thanos is in Marvel Infinite.
Oh, okay, dude. I was like, I thought you meant there was like a comic or something where like Ryu fought
I mean, there might be.
Thanos.
But yeah.
Okay.
And Joker's in Fortnite. Thanos is in Fortnite. Joker's in Mortal Kombat. And Joker's in Smash. Speaking of Smash. Dovahkiin.
That's a good one.
Because even though we're all on the Doom hype train, right? The Elder Scrolls is also has like a lot of legacy and it's extremely iconic and it was like super influential in the Breath of the Wild game that came out. Like they reference that game a lot, so Aonuma has like a fancy towards that game, and we've had situations, right? So we don't really know who at Nintendo is deciding characters, but we've had situations where Miyamoto requests Pac-Man and then Sakurai just does it. So I wouldn't put it past Aonuma to suggest Dovahkiin and then that getting through.
He would have a cool moveset too.
And
He'd be a mix of like magic.
Because he could do Fusro Da as like his forward throw or like his neutral B and he could charge it, or you could hit it 3 times and then like he would have axes and you could dual wield in that game, right? So you could have so many
There's a lot of
things you could do. And the remix of that song would be so good.
Mm-hmm. Fuck, I was literally looking at it. God. I guess I'll. Oh my god, dude. Okay, hear me out. This is not what I was initially thinking. Start it the way that it was teased. Chibi Robo on fire.
If there was a new Nintendo character, I think it would be him or Isaac.
I legitimately think he'd be such a cool Nintendo character. I think people would really like his inclusion.
He's really like the last like non-anime Nintendo character, I feel like, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I guess Excite Biker's not anime, and there's probably a bunch of others, but like he's like a good character design. And like the personality of Chibi-Robo is really, really powerful, so strong.
I know I haven't been looking at the left row, but it's because I just think like that's like
yeah,
not
it's like
even
all Mario characters with that. A Zelda rep is super possible though. I don't think they would do Midna though.
I don't think it'd be Minda either, but I would like if I could pick any Zelda rep, I feel like I'd probably pick Minda. I guess I'd probably pick Skull Kid, but Minda's.
Skull Kid's really requested. It's weird that he has like 2 Mii costumes. I don't think it's gonna make it in this game though. But that trailer would be so cool.
Yeah, it'd be cool. Who you picking?
Alright. There's definitely who?
The Nintendo Land fucking monitor.
Monita?
That's sexy.
Oh, her name is Monita because she's a monitor. I didn't know that.
Oh my god.
I actually did not know that. I thought it was just a cute name. Holy cow. Alright, I'm doing Gordon. Half-Life's sick, dude. I said before, he's like the mascot of Steam and Valve in general. Valve is such a huge part of gaming. They're now at the forefront of VR. PC gaming is pretty much like there's no bigger component to like making PC gaming what it is than Steam, right? And they just have so many good games, they should get some representation. I can't really speak to it super objectively without fanboying.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna do Beautiful Joe. I think it's another possible one. Would be interesting. It'd be a rushdown
Yeah, it would be
character.
fun to play.
I feel like that's kind of lacking in the DLC character department.
Yeah, a little bit. Honestly, I think Leighton's a sleeper pick.
I
Level
think Layton's
5 has not gotten a rep in Smash yet, so that would be a new company, which we got Mojang, but that's still Microsoft. We haven't gotten like an actual new company included in this pass. And the last pass had Microsoft, Atlas, and SNK. So,
hmm
and they could be pushing the collaborations towards the back of the pass because of how like COVID's been, right? And I think out of all
Yeah.
the level 5 characters, Jibanyan had his shot, but Yokai Watch is not nearly as like hot as it was. Layton's always kind of been their mascot, and it's always had like a really strong history with Nintendo. And he'd have a really cool move set, and his like character archetype is like this like gentleman, and he has like this. I don't know. I like Layton a lot as a character design. I didn't play his games a lot, but I like the idea of like a story-based game based around like really like hard short puzzles. It's like a really cool concept. I wish they made more of, and he'd just be a really fitting character in Smash.
I think Handsome Jack is like, if there's gonna be any Borderlands character, it'd be Handsome Jack, and I think that'd be kind of cool. I don't think it's likely, but I feel like it's one of those like off the chain
Yeah.
pick.
Well, they put the Borderlands collection on the Switch recently, so it's
Yeah,
possible.
and he's like probably the most iconic character in the Borderlands franchise.
Unless they do Claptrap.
Oh yeah, but
I bet it'll be a taunt or something, right? I don't really know anything about Borderlands. But I know Handsome Jack is like a very liked character, I think.
hmm
I've never played Toho, but it's actually a really big franchise apparently in Japan. It's got insane music. Like the music is so good. It was like a big inspiration for Toby Fox, which doesn't really mean anything in this context, but we know he's talked to Sakurai, and who knows, maybe it was like, yo, have you played this game? And he probably has, 'cause Sakurai plays everything, but Toho's also indie, and it got really big despite starting indie, and I don't know if it's still super indie, because I don't play it or really follow it very much, but I really don't know anything about this character. That's really why I want him in it, because I kind of want Sakurai to teach everyone about it. So, and then if it was in Smash, then they would start putting their games on more platforms, right? So,
um, I'm gonna go Tracer. I've had this theory that they thought about Tracer, and it's hard for them to implement Tracer and make her honest uh, to Overwatch,
like the
and like
rewind mechanic.
without making her like busted. So like, because it'd be a weird kind of like rush down gun character with a rewind that would obviously heal them back. So I feel like it was thought about potentially, but it just they were like it cannot happen. But I don't know. I feel like it's once again like one of those off the chain.
Yeah, it would be a huge missed opportunity to not make her a meat costume at least.
Mhm.
I think I'll just snipe this then. I think Blizzard and Nintendo have been like actually really cooperative, despite Blizzard being like a pretty known PC developer. Like their games being almost always designed primarily with PC in mind, because they make like shooters and strategy games. But although did they put Hearthstone on Switch even? I don't know. But they made a Diablo amiibo, which is actually insane to me. So I think it could be leading to something. I know that Overwatch was like a big deal when it came out, but Warcraft is definitely like Blizzard's franchise, and it's like probably like World of Warcraft in particular, obviously, is like the most iconic MMO and like one of the most iconic games of all time, just being like kind of the original like big MMO, and like the Warcraft series separate from that has also been extremely successful and like all been like great games. I think I didn't play them, but and then Hearthstone also being a Warcraft spin-off and being completely just huge, uh, and a good game pretty much. So I think Warcraft has so much personality between all of, and then Warcraft Classic even launching like a
Mhm.
year or two ago, and having such a huge impact. Just seeing like that Warcraft, like World of Warcraft, still is like super beloved, and it was
Yeah.
probably even more beloved then because like new people jumped on, you know. So it would honestly like if you take the biggest games of all time, like the truly biggest, like there's Minecraft, there's Fortnite, there's Mario, there's Pokemon, and there's World of Warcraft. Like if you're trying to nail down the top 5 biggest, most important games, it's hard to like not at least mention World of Warcraft. You know what I mean? So and even like Hearthstone maybe even. So the only reason I don't think we would get it is because I don't know what character they would pick, but they literally could do like the paladin dude in this game and then like the orc in the next game. You know what I mean? Like that's how big Warcraft is they could get 2 Smash characters at some point.
I'm gonna do Jonesy Ramirez. Uh, I mean, I don't think there's gonna be another building character personally. But they have the framework, I guess. Fortnite's so popular, and it wouldn't surprise me, I guess, if Fortnite was in Smash. You know what I mean?
Hmm. Well, Fortnite is pretty much the biggest game there is right now, aside from Among Us, which is actually like also like insanely big, at least right now. But Fortnite's been big for like the last 3 years, and it's been like at
Yeah.
the top for the last 3 years. And Nintendo like pretty much like
Really likes Fortnite. They retweet their shit all the time.
Nintendo posts YouTube videos every day about Fortnite, retweets everything Fortnite related. They have a Fortnite Switch. Like Nintendo loves Fortnite, and Nintendo liked Minecraft, you know, and they kind of like nudged Sakurai towards that IP. And I feel like Sakurai has written about Minecraft in the past and has actually played it. But like I feel like with Fortnite, Nintendo would like really sit them down and be like, "This is happening because Fortnite is making us so much money." So
Yeah.
so this is a weird one. I'm going with Sans. This is pretty divisive, right? Because he has a Mii costume already that's like really detailed. But it really depends on when they decided the next pass. So
Yeah.
Sans was announced the same direct, literally the exact same day they announced that they would develop more fighters for Smash Ultimate. But they didn't decide on how many fighters they would have until the Byleth announcement months later. So they could have seen the reaction that people had to Sans, which is unlike any other Mii costume ever. Even like the amount of likes and the amount of views on like Sans reaction videos and the Sans trailer outdoes like actual character trailers. Like it's unreal how huge that announcement was. So this
Hmm.
could even have been the 6th character that they threw in this pass to be like Nintendo was like, "Yo, this is like the most popular thing you've ever done. Like you gotta like throw them more bones towards Undertale, you know?" And Undertale is still super popular to this day. Like it is like a modern classic in the same way I would consider like Dark Souls. Like it came out like in 2015 and people are like still treating it like it's been around since like the 80s. Like it's like one of the must play games, must talk about. Like these characters are just as iconic now as like Mario and Link. Not just like as much iconic like your mom won't recognize Sans or whatever, but the it like I really think this character's fate in Smash depends on when they decided the path. I think Undertale's
Hmm.
so big and Sans was so freaking like hype that they would either put him in this pass or maybe in the next Smash game.
I'm gonna do a similar thing. I'm gonna do Rex and Pyra slash Mithra. Uh, you know, he was a Mii costume, but he was like literally a Mii costume from like day one, essentially.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think it's possible he could be. I don't think it would go over well with most reception. I feel like a lot of people would complain. I think it'd be cool. I think you and I are in like agreement on that.
Yeah, I really
Uh,
want that.
I think if there was a Xenoblade character added, I really do think it'd be Rex and Pyra and Mithra.
Yeah. No, I don't see any other Xenoblade character getting in. Like I want Fiora I think the most because I think her moveset would be really really fun and then she could bring in like more Xenoblade 1 content. But I do think like Xenoblade 2 was such a good game that it deserves a character and a stage and more music and like Rex and Pyra, even though I'm not a big fan of Rex himself, I think his moveset would be really really cool because he could be a stance character, which Smash still doesn't really have, where he could switch between the blades and his moves would still be the same, but they would have like slightly different properties. Like maybe Mythra's slightly faster and or Mythra's technically stronger, right? So maybe she's stronger, but Pyra has more range or something. And there's just so much they could do, and they could even have them in the background and have like a mechanic where like if you're closer to them, you do more damage, like how the ether works in the
We
game.
talked about that way long ago. We were talking about like it'd be cool if it did have a mechanic like that.
Yeah. They would. I feel like even though it'd be like another sword character or whatever, they could have one of the most complicated and like cool move sets because of how like
I
the game works in terms of like
I
position
think
management.
you would have to put the blade in the middle of the stage because then it'd be just more even. It'd be consistent.
Yeah. So like the further you get towards like the blast zone, the weaker you'd get.
Yeah. But if
Yeah.
you're controlling center stage, you're gonna be the strongest you can be.
Yeah. I guess it depends on how they implement them because they could even do because the Pokemon trainers don't really move too much, especially in like floating stages. They could do it like Nana, just she doesn't have a hitbox, or like Arsene, where they follow you, but they follow like maybe a bit behind.
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe you could do a taunt where like they come towards you or something like Luma. It really depends, but there's so much you could do with that character, and just like bringing that world in even more so would just be really great. 'Cause that game is really really good.
Okay. What's your pick?
Uh, honestly, this is a really I don't think this is gonna happen, but I think there's like a slim chance there will be an Arxis character. Because like I was saying, I think there's only like a handful of companies that are like left out of Smash in like terms of Japanese game developers. And if Tecmo Koei is getting added, and if Level 5's getting added, or if they don't and they want to go with Arxis, I think they're in the same boat as SNK, where they would be like really open to collaboration. So you
Mm-hmm.
could get a Guilty Gear character in, and they would bring in a bunch of music. And Guilty Gear is like the Arxis franchise. Like they have BlazBlue too, which is like their other video game franchise, but Guilty Gear is like their iconic one, and it's the one that they like pour like money into making sure like the graphics look just super cutting edge and better than everything else. And
Mm-hmm.
I think Soul is like the mascot character. Kai is like kind of like the Ken of Guilty Gear, and they could like throw us like a curveball and do Kai, but
They
uh,
do Faust.
I mean, it could do Faust, but I think Soul, like, cause he's on the box and like he's got like that iconic Guilty Gear aesthetic. He's like kind of like a juvenile. He's like kind of like rock. Like he captures like the Guilty Gear aesthetic. When you look at him, you know like oh like he's got this big sword, he's got these big muscles and this crazy hair, and he'd be like a cool Smash character because he had a crazy combos, and he'd maybe be more complicated than Terry and Ryu and Ken.
Damn, dude. I feel like it's so hard to pick still to like try to make like good. I'm gonna do Meat Boy. I feel like that's such a weird indie one, but like, didn't they just celebrate having like an anniversary of it or something, or like
Well,
it's like
Meat
10
Boy
years?
2 just came out on
Oh, is that what
Switch.
it is?
Yeah.
I don't think he would be in it, but like that'd be interesting. I don't know what his moveset would even be,
Yeah, he's a little weird, like, 'cause he's a
but
square.
he's one of those indie reps that like I guess I could see.
Yeah, he's definitely one of the most iconic, especially like in terms of retro indie reps, like retro being just like OG indies. Like there's
Hmm.
Isaac Meat Boy and like Quote that are like the original indie characters. And Super Meat Boy was like insane when it came out. Like it was hard and there was so much content for an indie game. It was insane. Like that is it's a great game to at least do tribute in Smash, I feel like. Yeah, sure, I'll do Rayman. I think
That that's the one I was gonna do. Fuck, that's a good one.
he's like the Ubisoft mascot. Ubisoft has been pretty good in terms of like supporting Nintendo for a very long time. Even Wii U, they did like Rayman Legends, And I mean that might have been it, but I mean they collaborated. They made a Mario game, which is insane. Like for any company to get that IP. Like I mean Tecmo Koei, we talk about how they got Zelda, but Ubisoft got Mario, and they also got to use the Star Fox characters in their game, and they're French. And Rayman is okay. I don't think I've played his game. I've played the Rabbids games.
I
Uh,
played Legends. Legends is a pretty good game.
yeah.
It's a good 2D platformer.
And Rayman's another one of those mascot characters like Crash and Sonic, where it's like you put him in and like his silhouette is super recognizable, and he just fits with like Mario and everyone.
hmm I am going to continue on this indie path with a personal favorite, Freddy Fazbear. I clearly think he's going to be the next Smash character with all his interesting moves, such as screaming.
Does he scream?
Yeah, he does like the the one that people use, and then like the music in Smash could be like the dong dong.
I know
Yeah, it'd
there
be
was a
pretty.
bite that happened
The
around
fight.
87, I think. I've seen people saying they really want FNAF in Smash, and it did have a big impact.
I actually think there will be a costume. I no joke, like unironically think there's gonna be a Mii
Well,
costume.
costume picks are legitimate picks. I'll go with Kazumi. Oh,
From Dead or Alive?
because if there
Don't-
was, if they didn't go with Hayabusa for Tecmo Koei, I think they'd go with Kazumi, because she is a female. I'll do Kazumi. There's not really a whole lot of logic. I think if Hayabusa gets in, she'll get a Mii costume probably. She's like the main character of Dead or Alive essentially, and Dead or Alive is a pretty big franchise for Tecmo Koei.
Okay.
Although
Obviously,
but,
Mii costumes for already characters that have Mii costumes don't count, right?
yeah, so you can't get points for Rex.
Or spirits or like all that shit. Yeah. Okay. This would be sick.
That's
Let's
so
just do another-
dumb. Maybe they do
Akuma?
another Shoto? Alright, I'm just gonna flex on you, because I think Chun-Li, if they ever did another
Chun-Li
character,
legitimately
it would be
does have a
Chun-Li.
better. What about Cammy though?
Chun-Li would. Chun-Li's on the box, dude.
I know Chun-Li's way more iconic. I'm
Chun-Li's
aware.
also got a better design.
Everyone talks about Shadow this, Knuckles that, Tails this. I'm about that Amy life. Amy with the hammer.
Oh,
Be
she would
sick.
have the hammer. She'd be like Ice Climber. Oh, I want Knuckles so bad, man. But that's never gonna happen. Maybe I put this guy down so we don't get like dislike bombed.
Who?
Sora.
Oh.
I think Sora's a cool character. Maybe. I didn't play his game to BH, but they could put him in without including any of the Disney
I
stuff.
like how you said I don't want to piss anyone off. He's a cool character, I guess. I didn't play his game TBH.
Well,
No, the music's really good. It would have
yeah,
such
the
good
music would be cool. And the thing is, I don't understand why you would have to use Goofy and Mickey, considering Ness uses all of Paula's and
wouldn't have
Pooh's
to.
moves,
No,
and they
you
don't
wouldn't
even
have to.
show up. Yeah.
The only issue would be like I guess if they were in his windscreen, but like it doesn't have to be.
No,
You
they
can.
wouldn't
There's
even
plenty
do that
of
because you could
mostly
include the
Hearts
other characters, like the girl and the boy, you know, classic Kingdom Hearts characters,
Yeah.
or Sephiroth or something. So, yeah, I think it'd be cool. I think it's surprising he didn't have a Mii costume, so there could be a point for him. And I don't know, it would be cool because he could fight Sephiroth in his trailer, which would be a cool callback or something. I didn't play Kingdom Hearts, but it's not because I'm not interested. It's because they've been pretty hard to play on not PlayStation. I'd be fine with him, and if he was in Smash, then a lot of people would stop being weird online. There you go.
I'm gonna do Eggman. I feel like a Sonic character like is actually possible. I feel like they would do one that's like a little bit more unique. So I think like Eggman or Amy are my two.
He would have a
Oh,
good
yeah, I mean, yeah, no, I know, but I'm counting him out because of the Mii costume. So I think he's less likely than Commander Keem. He'd be sick.
I don't
I
even
feel
know
like
what
he'd
he
be a
does.
Mii costume. He'd be a Mii costume for sure.
He'd be a cool Mii costume, yeah. No one would know who he is though. They would do. I feel like if Doom was in, they'd do Dovahkiin, and then if Dovahkiin was in, they'd do Doom. They'd all make good Mii costumes. But can you imagine if all of them were Mii costumes, and you could do Vault Boy versus Doom Marine versus Dovahkiin as all the Miis?
Versus Cacodemon.
Yeah, that's not happening.
Wait, did you pick someone yet?
So this one is.
You take so long.
I'm doing Scout. I know Heavy's actually more requested than Scout, weirdly, because he's more like associated with like mascot, because he's on the cover of the orange box, right? And I think that's it. Sometimes he's in front of the gang on like Team Fortress 2 art, but in like the like videos and like comics and stuff, I feel like Scout is like more pushed as a protagonist because he has like a love interest and everything. And I just like Scout more because he'd be more rushed down than like Heavy Zoner. And I like his personality a lot. I think he's the funniest character in TF2, potentially. And he'd have a double jump. New mechanic.
I'm gonna do Jill for the same reasoning as Leon earlier. I think if they don't do Leon, it would probably be Jill. And I don't know if they would do like you could be Leon or Jill. I don't think they could do that because of hitboxes. But
Yeah, I think Jill's more likely than Leon.
You do?
Because she's in Marvel. And she has like an established moveset. And she's also playable in Teppen and Leon isn't.
Okay.
And she's the first Resident Evil character.
Who's your pick?
I'm gonna go 2B or a Nier character. I actually think, even though it's Square again, it's also kind of platinum. And she was really, really highly requested when Ultimate was coming out, even though it was like too late for her to be in the main roster. And Nier is kind of one of those franchises that started niche and then exploded with Automata. And 2B's a cool design. She got into Soul Calibur, which means now she's like actual clout. And she'd have a unique moveset, I think.
I'm gonna do Ratchet and Clank. I think they're also that same kind of like Sony rep. They'd be a tag team character. Maybe this one would be like actually cool, like fun to play as. Probably not be degenerate still, but I don't know. I think it'd be interesting.
Alright. I think a Grand Blue character.
That actually low key is a good one. I think that's one we kind of slept on. That was like rumored for a hot minute.
Yeah, it was rumored for a minute. Grand Blue as a franchise, the actual original game is huge in Japan, and they're doing like just like the Fire Emblem Riot Games thing where they're doing everything. They made a fighting game, and they're making like this weird RPG Warriors type game, and the characters are actually pretty cool. Obviously, if they do Gran, it would be a missed opportunity. I don't think they will because they did Min Min for ARMS. I think they'll do either Katrina or Fairy, but it's really up in the air what they go with. And I would be pretty much down with everything as long as it's not that little weird, like annoying, like small girl with the big sword. I think that would be very, very stupid. But I would actually be down with Grand Blue even though I never played it. If it has good music, I'd be down with it. And I actually legitimately like a lot of the character designs.
I'm gonna do Isaac. I think he would more likely be a Mii costume once again.
Which Isaac?
Finding of Isaac, but Isaac. I think he's in a fighting game, isn't he?
He's in Blade Strangers, yeah.
Like, so I mean, that at least gives him like he can be in a fighting game. So I don't know. He'd be cool. He'd be an interesting character.
And his game is so good. Like,
yeah, no, that's one of my most played games on Steam.
it's honestly like Minecraft tier in terms of like you buy it a long time ago and it still gets content updates, you know? Like it is such a massive game. Like the scale is insane compared to what you would expect from like a pixel indie game, you know what I mean? And it's kind of the original roguelike kinda. Like it was originally like kind of like a weird Zelda like
Seriously,
kinda...
I think that propelled the roguelike genre. It got people interested in it.
Yeah.
Now there's like what? There's a AAA Sony PS5 exclusive roguelike game coming out.
That's a good pick. He's definitely a character with like, and it's like iconic too, like the Isaac, like the mom and Isaac's mother. You know, it's
And he has so many like tier weapon things that could easily be like different moves.
yeah. His moveset would be so good because there's so many things in that game. He could do the flies. He could do the poop. He would have cool music. All right, I'm just gonna weirdly cover Tecmo for no reason. Ryza is an extremely popular character, and she's from like a long-lasting franchise that is now blowing up. Like the newest one did really well, and they're making a sequel, a direct sequel with the same main character, which means she has like so much clout. And I think Tecmo is gonna try to push her as like another mascot on the tier of Hayabusa over the next couple years.
I'm gonna do like my one. I know it's you and I's like big pick if we could pick one. I think the Axis would be so sick. It's never going to happen.
It would be that's like a dream character, man, because especially in this context, being a Fire Pass character means you get a stage, which means we get a Gen 3 stage finally. A whole suite of Gen 3 music. And then the actual move set would be so cool because they could transform into different stages of speed, and the speed one would be super Fox Rushdown. The defense one would be like a bit slower, and then you get knocked back like a little bit less far.
It would be like Shulk.
Yeah, he would be kind of like Shulk, but like more comprehensive. Like you could see
Yeah.
the stage differences, and it might even affect like his moves more, like maybe his range or something. But and you wouldn't
It would be.
have you wouldn't have a time limit either because he could actually just raw switch,
Yeah, I think it'd be sick.
and he'd have psychic moves and stuff. It'd be cool, man. And they're legendary Pokemon. They need more legendary Pokemon because they're so cool.
Does the Axis count as a legendary, or is it a
It's
mythical?
a mythical,
still?
but mythicals are like legendary. Seems
I know, but I just meant more so.
well, actually,
since,
no,
like,
he's not a mythical anymore because you could
Because
catch him.
in Oras,
Yeah,
he's catchable.
they
I wasn't sure if
changed it.
that.
He's a pseudo mythical.
Okay, who's your pick? Let's see it.
I tend to pick the.
Wait, on with this. We
Yeah,
are
but
going fast.
it'll become faster and faster because we have less to explain and more to complain.
I just spit all over my monitor. That made me laugh. I need to get water soon.
You can get water now. It's like
Okay, I'll let you have a nice long pick. Yeah, you haven't picked yet.
yeah, I'm about to. All right. This is off the wall. I think there could be a GTA character in Smash. I don't really think there will be, at least in this character pass. But since it's,
What would it be? It'd be like it'd be Nico, cousin.
I think it
Let's
would be
go boy.
CJ. I feel like he's probably the most popular like character, even though he's not from like the best-selling game.
Mm-hmm.
The alternative is like Trevor, but he'll never be in Smash. Because I think he's like the box art character of 5, which is far and away the most popular game. 'Cause it's so
I mean, it's like, okay, the three main characters are Franklin, Michael, and Trevor. Trevor's obviously probably the most loved character in that game.
yeah, but he'll never
He's
just because of how he
fucking
looks.
brutal.
Just because but I also just think just because like he'll never stand next to Mario. Nintendo would never let that happen. I would say there's probably a lot of potential for a Grand Theft Auto character. It makes sense because it's like one of the biggest, if not the biggest, gaming franchises. Like it's insane how much GTA 5 sells every month still, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And it would just be cool to have that crossover in fan bases, even though it's like so bipolar fan bases.
I'm gonna do the other side of the coin. I'm gonna do Frisk, Kara.
Damn, I had that on my short list.
Because let's say like hypothetically, was just the tip of the iceberg,
Yeah.
and
Because then they could fight each other now in the trailer and whatever.
yeah, and the music would be so good.
Yeah, and I
There'd
was
be so
thinking
much,
like what they could do
and
is
like
like if you bought the
Toby
Sans meat
literally.
costume, you could get like a discount because the Megalovania song would be in both, probably.
Mhm.
But yeah, Toby would let him have everything. Like you could have
Toby,
the Undyne themes
he
and
literally went and played Smash with him.
yeah, they could have Heartbreak or Heartache, Asgore's theme, the plant theme,
Hope and Dreams.
Core, what's the one Hotland theme? Another medium. It
Yeah.
would be so good. Bone Trussell.
The remixes would go so hard too.
Yeah, especially if they got like the other composers. Like imagine like they could double down on Megalovania, you know what I mean? We could get like a Xenoblade or a Dark Souls Megalovania and it would be so good.
Oh wait, that I didn't even think about that. Yeah, it'd be a remix Megalovania, but there could also be regular Megalovania if you
Yeah,
get
no,
the
they can
Sans
bring
meat.
in the Sans me, but then they could have an orchestra version.
That would be sick. Okay, well that one's hype as fuck.
Yeah, because I realized that while you were gone, I was like, holy shit, they already have Sans in Smash, now we can do Frisk versus Sans on the Judgment stage or something. Plus, they would be such a cool character, too, because they would use, I'd imagine they would use everyone's moves, like they could use Undyne Spear, and they could use like a Bone, and they could use, obviously, the Knife and the Stick. And they could just do both character names with like the different costumes, and then they would have like colors for each. Like they could have a Monster Kid color, and they could have like a Sans and Papyrus color. They would have probably like Asgore's weapon, and then like a couple attacks like from the small like box. I don't know. There's so much you could do with that character that's like off the wall, or they could make him a Nest clone. But yeah, just I don't care. Honestly, Undertale is I think a game where I don't really even care about the character. I just want the music and the world in Smash, you know?
Mhm.
So I think if they did do, since they just did Sephiroth, if they ever introduced a franchise with just a villain, Wesker is the perfect choice. You know
Yeah,
what I
no,
mean?
I was thinking that.
Because, like, there's no main protagonist of Resident Evil, but there is a most iconic villain, and like he was the first Resident Evil character in Tekken, and he's in Marvel 3, and he's super popular in Marvel 3, and he's just got a cool design and a cool storyline. I think I actually don't know his story, but I'm assuming he's a cool character because everyone likes him, and I like him. He's cool. And he would have a sick moveset probably, because he isn't like a generic like police officer. He is like a demon dude. So
You know, he's an asshole.
he
He's
would
actually
be
a horrible person.
so awesome. But this game needs more horrible people.
Oh, I
Imagine having
know.
Sephiroth versus Wesker, bro. That
It'd be
would be
sick.
crazy. And I think
Uh,
before I didn't see Wesker before the protagonist, but now I think that would be the coolest thing ever.
I'm gonna do Hollow Knight. I've been really hammering the indie characters, but like that's another one that would be like I think it's pretty requested. Nintendo seems to like the franchise.
Well, they have a game on Switch, yeah. Yeah, the game is apparently really, really good too. So it's always a good idea to add characters from good games. I think I don't really think Ari will be in this character pass because Nintendo and Riot still don't really have much of a history, at least at the moment.
But you think sometime in the future?
I think they might put Valorant on the Switch next year. I don't think League will ever be on the Switch, but I do think the League spin-offs that they're pumping out are going to end up on Switch. And Project L might even end up on Switch, which we already know has Ari in it and will probably be like a main character. And I think I separated her from any other League character. Like it could be Teemo, it could be like Draven or someone, but I think they push Ari as like the kind of main like marketable character, and she has a cool design too. So should be cool. She'd have a unique moveset, and she'd represent another like just extremely huge game that everyone knows about.
I'm gonna do one a little bit out there. I'm gonna do Nightmare from Soul Calibur. I think a Soul Calibur rep would be super out off the wall, but like, you know, I don't. I mean, I don't understand why there hasn't been a Tekken character. In all honesty, I would much rather have a Tekken character, but like, Soul Calibur would be interesting. I guess. I don't know. I don't have like an attachment to the franchise really.
Yeah, it would be cool to have the stage and the music. I kind of have I even combined Sophia and Mitsurugi even though they're completely separate characters just because they could do either as a protagonist type character. But yeah, I would rather have Tekken 2, but I like Soul Calibur, and I don't think it's impossible for them to snag a character spot because they're kind of like Smash Light in some ways because they're a fighting game and they've had Link in it. They've done 2B, they've done Geralt, they've had Darth Vader and Yoda. I think Kratos was in one, Spawn, so
Yeah, Kratos was in it. Yoda, Darth Vader,
yeah, so they have kind of a bit of clout. But
Geralt. You said
even
Geralt, right?
yeah, Geralt. Geralt is Byleth's dad,
Oh yeah.
which he could be in here too. Yeah, let me pick mine. We don't need to talk that much more about Soul Calibur. Uh, yeah, so this is kind of what I've been thinking about a lot because usually you can tell when Sakura is really trying to represent like a entire franchise in Smash. And they when they added Joker, right? They even went as far as to add Persona 3 and 4 music and make the stage turn into Persona 3 and 4 aesthetics when you pick those music tracks. But
Mhm.
there's specifically zero Shin Megami Tensei content. Even though Persona is started as a spin-off of Shin Megami Tensei and now it's kind of its own thing, but they're still combined franchises. Like they shared characters like Jack Frost, who despite being arguably the most iconic Shin Megami Tensei character and could also be a character in Smash, is was not even a spirit. And they kind of made Morgana kind of like the like mascot character of the Persona side of Smash, you know? So
Mhm.
I think that could potentially maybe not be intentional to uh, Demi Fiend because I think Demi Fiend because he's probably the most requested Shin Megami Tensei character I've seen, and he's probably the most iconic like protagonist in general. And Nocturne's pretty popular, and it's on Switch now. So I don't think they necessarily left Shin Megami Tensei out because they're adding him in his past, but I think he left it out so he could properly represent it at some point in the future of Smash, and not kind of shorthand it because they are now kind of different franchises with a lot of history. I think just the fact that Jack Frost was missing. Also, I think because Joker's codename was Jack, I think that kind of eliminates the possibility of Jack Frost being a playable character. Just because it would be very strange to codename a character with the first name of another character, even though obviously he wouldn't have been planned at that point. Just the fact that that was a possibility, because obviously they had the possibility of a second pass in mind, that they would name it that. But that's just a lot of like kind of subjective, poor reasoning. But it is what it is. I think a Shin Megami Tensei character would be cool, and it makes sense because that's the side of Atlas that actually supports Nintendo. There's not a lot of Persona on Nintendo platforms, but there is so much Shin Megami Tensei, and it's still strange that Persona is represented and not SMT.
Mhm. Um. On a separate note, I'm gonna go Conquer from Conquer's Bad Fur Day. Uh, I don't think I need to say anything more.
I always thought it would be cool if like they ended a Smash trailer and then Conquer, you know how he cuts the N64 logo in half with a chainsaw?
Mhm.
I always thought it would have been cool if they did that at the end of Banjo's trailer and they double revealed them before Banjo was announced. Or now if they did that, that would just the amount of hype because it would be another character out of nowhere and it would be Conquer coming back for no reason, you know?
Hmm.
That'd be so cool. Um, there's a few characters I have. Alright, this is another kind of tinfoil pick. So, I picked Raiden from Metal Gear, who's the protagonist essentially of Metal Gear 2 and then the Metal Gear Rising series. And he's a really liked character and would have a very unique moveset. And the fact that he's kind of the main character of Metal Gear Solid 2, which is a lot of like everyone has a favorite Metal Gear game, but Metal Gear Solid 2 is like a especially legendary video game that obviously Snake is designed for Metal Gear Solid 2, but his moveset and his stage are very clearly Metal Gear Solid 1, aside from his dash attack, I guess. But it would be cool because Metal Gear has a lot of spirits, but it really like ends there. I feel like they could do Raiden and then they could do the shell, and then they could have just like a really cool Metal Gear style trailer, and it would just I don't know. I really just want more Metal Gear 2 stuff in Smash.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Um, damn, dude. I'm gonna do Porky,
And I had that on my short list too.
villain from Earthbound. I guess it's like if there was a first. I mean, I don't know. I don't. It's hard to completely justify it. But I feel like since he didn't have a spirit, that was really weird, right? Like, doesn't he still not have a spirit?
Well, the thing with Porky or Pokey is despite being one of like two or three characters that are actually in more than one Mother game, and probably being like arguably one of the most important characters in both games. He didn't have a specific sprite. Like he didn't. I think there's actually a reason for that. That doesn't mean he's a character because his appearances at the end of both games are kind of spoilers, especially in Mother Three's case. It's weird that his regular sprite from Mother 1 isn't in the game, and it's also weird because Smash spoils a lot of stuff anyway, so I don't know whether I would care. But there is a spirit that references Pokey. I can't really explain it without spoiling it. People who played Mother 3 would know what I'm talking about, but I don't want to spoil it for you because I think you'd play it one day, maybe. But he is represented in another spirit very subtly. So I don't think that him being gone hints to anything. I think it is a little weird that Ness's dad from Mother 2 is a spirit, but Pokey from Mother 2 isn't. But uh, other than that, I don't think that's really a hint towards anything. I just think out of all the Nintendo first party villains, I think Pokey is my actual favorite. And he's probably the most important Mother series character because he's in more than one game and he plays like a really big role in both.
Hmm.
And his themes, his battle themes in every game are really good, and neither of them are in Smash. And he'd have a unique moveset because he has the spider mech, and he's just a really well written character. He's like just Nintendo Cartman essentially, which would be really cool to see in Smash. And yeah.
Okay, who's your pick?
Let me take a look at this. Alright, I'm just gonna pick the character I really want. I think Chell is the character I want more than any other video game character because outside of Minecraft and Smash, Portal is like my favorite, or Portal 2 in particular is my favorite game ever. It is like a beautiful puzzle game. It has a beautiful art style, a really tight story with really good voice acting, and it's just like a very unique gameplay style because it's a shooter, but you have two mouse buttons where you shoot portals and you walk through the. It's such a unique concept that it's literally it made a genre and then it just dominated it. Like no one else can make a Portal game, you know. It is actually the first Portal type game, but I don't think Chell would actually get into Smash because I don't think a Valve character would get into Smash. And if a Valve character did get into Smash, it would be Team Fortress or Half-Life because Half-Life's the mascot of Valve and Team Fortress is like the cartoony Valve franchise. But she would be cool. She would have a very hard to design moveset because of the portals. But the music would be amazing and having a stage from Portal, especially if it had GLaDOS and if she even commented on anything, it would be amazing. Like if she
Oh, it would
had
be
like a
like
unique line.
I was gonna say if she had the kind of like what they were missing in this game with the
Palutena thing.
Palutena or like the Colonel.
Yeah. Well, GLaDOS would be amazing because she would roast all the characters. Like she would call Wario
Yeah,
fat, she would call Zero Suit ugly. Like she would
but
have
she
the
doesn't that she doesn't in like that. She's not like
like the
directly saying it, but she would, or sometimes she would directly say it, but sometimes she'll do like
like really
she'll be like,
scathing like sarcasm, you know.
yeah.
That would be better than the character. If they just had a stage where GLaDOS roasts everyone, that would be so fucking amazing. But I love Portal music. I love the Portal aesthetic, and I just it's one of my favorite franchises. So
What's your favorite goo?
goo, probably the white goo. I would spend the hours
Clip
putting the
that.
white goo everywhere. Okay. Whatever.
No, there actually is like the most you can do with the white. It was
Yeah.
like I feel like that's how you could like do some big like skips.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, wow, that was a lot to follow up on. I'm gonna do Parappa the Rappa because I think that'd be really funny, and I like the songs that he sings.
I like Parappa. He would be really out of nowhere.
Oh yeah,
That
no,
would
he.
piss so many people off. I would love it. Alright. I'll do Zero. Now, there's no chance he's in because he got a post-launch me costume, and he's an assist trophy, which I don't think means anything, but hasn't been done before, an assist trophy into a character. But he would be cool because he would represent Mega Man X, and he's always represented Mega Man X more than X, because X isn't even in Marvel 3 and Zero is, and Zero has such a cool design and moveset with the beam sword and the like beams and the cool hair. He's just the coolest Mega Man character, and it's not even close. He's so awesome. I just want him because he's awesome. And he would have a Mega Man X stage, and Mega Man X. There's one Mega Man X song, I think, maybe two, and they need a proper suite of Mega Man music or Mega Man X music because that has such a good soundtrack.
Yeah, I think a Mega Man character is a pretty good idea. I was thinking about it. I didn't want to pick Zero because I really don't think Zero would be in the game. But I don't know. I think that's a pretty good. I'm gonna pick a fun one. Ready? I'm gonna pick Frank West.
Frank's cool.
It would be honestly, I don't think this character would ever be in Smash. I also
He'd be a cool
genuinely
assist trophy.
he'd be a cool assist trophy. I definitely agree with that.
Or
But your
Stage,
pick.
the
I don't
mall.
want to. I don't even want to elaborate on this.
His stage is
Just
cool. Just fighting in a mall with zombies. I would like Frank West. He's fun in Marvel. um, yeah, I'm gonna go with Morrigan as our Capcom combo. I think despite Darkstalkers being almost like abysmal in popularity, Morrigan is one of the weirdestly like most iconic video game characters somehow. Despite that, you know what I mean? Like she's her. Do you know who this is?
maybe I gotta look at. Oh yes, I actually do know who
Yeah,
this
like
is.
it's a character you don't realize you know until you see it, and you're like, whoa, that's a good character design, and I recognize that. Like it's so weird how her appearance and her like personality totally completely obliterate her franchise in a way. It's because she's in all the Capcom crossovers, right? But it's because her design is so good and her moveset's pretty unique. So I think she'd just be cool because like it would be cool. I like when a Smash represents really obscure franchises, and this is a really good opportunity to throw a bone towards Darkstalkers, which doesn't get like any attention whatsoever even from Capcom, and then just have a really cool character design in Smash. Yeah.
Um, fuck. Uh, Here's the last like super off the wall first party Nintendo character in my opinion. I'm gonna do a Rhythm Heaven character. I thought having one would be so sick, but I really don't know how it would work. And like I feel like it has to be executed really well because it's just gonna be like either shitty or it's gonna be like super degenerate.
Well, you know how Wii Fit Trainer has like that timing based down B? I always felt like they would have like Bayonetta type like multi input tilts and stuff, but you'd have to actually time them properly to get to the next tilt attack. You know what I
That'd
mean?
be interesting. Like choir kids, it's like you throw a tilt out, it's like dut 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 like
Yeah.
that.
So it's one of with a buffer system it would be kind of strange, but uh it would be a really cool character because you wouldn't be able to mash combos. You would have to actually time things, and it could be
It
good
would be
because of that.
cool and like, it'd be cool if it was like almost like a Game and Watch esque. So like it
He like
conforms
transformed
to
into
the
each like
yeah.
Karate
So like
Joe's up to and then
so
like
my picturesque would be like it's a choir kid to start off because that's probably like the most iconic Rhythm Heaven character. So like you walk around as a choir kid, but then when you do certain moves, it like transforms your appearance, which
yeah.
might look weird, but that's just like how I feel like it could be implemented the best way.
Yeah. No, there's a lot you could do with the Rhythm Evan character. I always thought it would be like Karate Joe, and he would just have timing based attacks, and then maybe for like
Hmm.
super moves he'd bring in other characters like the monkey or something. But it would be cool. It was weird that it was planned for Smash 4 and then seemingly scrapped out of the universe after that.
Yeah. Okay.
Um,
You're
uh, alright. So I don't really think Tetris will be a character, but I think Tetris is the kind of challenge that Sakurai would want to take. You know how like everybody thought Pac-Man wouldn't work. Like I remember
hmm
people talking all day about how Pac-Man couldn't have a moveset in Smash for some reason. And I feel like that's what a lot of people say when Tetris gets brought up. And I feel like he would totally figure out a way to make it work, even though it's not even a character, you know? So I kind of just wanted to see how he would do it. Like obviously you could have a couple ideas like oh down smash is like the 1x4 and then forward smash is the Z block or something and he like transforms between the blocks, but I would like to see it actually in action and I think he would do the series justice somehow. I don't think it's impossible and obviously Tetris is like the most iconic gameplay like it's obviously in terms of iconography a fit for the series, so it'd be cool to finally have a character in.
I'm gonna do Silex. Feel like if there was a Metroid DLC rep, it'd probably be Silex over what? Like who else would it be?
Yeah, there's
I don't
pretty
know.
much
I don't
no
know
one
any
left
other
unless they did an actual
character.
Metroid.
Yeah, if they did a Metroid, or if they did like fucking Craig or
Kraid?
Creed,
Not Craig.
or whatever the fuck's his face. I don't know the other bosses.
Oh,
There's one
Nightmare.
that's really I'm just who?
Nightmare from Metroid Fusion?
I don't know anything about Metroid. I have never played a single Metroid game besides like the first 5 minutes of Prime and the first 30 minutes of Super.
Damn it. He has like a really iconic death sound. I'll put it in the video. But yeah, whatever. So you did Psylocke. I agree. They are kind of trying to push Psylocke story wise, and then he's like the weirdest one where he doesn't have a spirit, and that's so weird. That's like so
He's in that
suspicious.
same camp with Porky.
Yeah, I think Porky is less weird because he actually is kind of a spirit. But Psylocke being actually missing, so the Porky not having a spirit is like up for debate. Poochie not having a spirit is probably just Sakurai not liking Poochie. I doubt Poochie will be added. And then Psylocke is like, what? Like that's a character design that isn't bad. And I think there's other hunters that have spirits, even though there's no other like as relevant hunters as Psylocke, supposedly.
Mm,
I've never played a
okay.
game with Psylocke in it, so I don't know.
Uh,
My turn.
your pick.
All right. I've got a good answer. I'll do Fio from Metal Slug. I don't think there'll be another SNK character because Sakurai really went out of his way to make Terry like the SNK guy. Like he has Metal Slug music, he has Samurai Showdown characters in the background. His stage is from King of Fighters, like not even from Fatal Fury. So I doubt he'll add another one, but he might. And they developed Terry in mind, knowing that they would have another character pass later. So it wouldn't make sense for them to decide on like Kyo and then put him in the background anyways. But if there wasn't an SNK character, I think it would be Fio because she's pretty well known, and Metal Slug is like a big franchise that's really separate from like the SNK fighting games. And they even had a crossover with Jetpack Joyride, which is pretty random. So even though they already have music with Terry, I really don't think they'll be in, but I think it'd be cool. And just
I'm gonna do Jack Frost. I like your reasoning. I think it'd be a good branch between Persona and Shin Megami Tensei. And I could see them doing another character. I don't know.
yeah, it's definitely close between Demi Fiend and Jack Frost because Jack Frost is way more well known because he's in all of them.
Basically your reasoning for Demi Fiend, a lot of that is what really kind of helped push that in. Okay, here you go.
Uh,
I knew you were gonna pick that soon. You want that character.
Yeah, I kind of want a Chrono Trigger character, and Chrono would make the most sense because his name is Chrono, just without an H. Uh, he would be another sword character, but he would have like a lot of. He could so in his game, it has the main mechanic is like team attacks. Like you could have like a character cast fire spells, use a fire spell on like Chrono's sword, and then use flame sword or something. Like it's all about the synergy. So it'd be interesting if maybe he could swap out party members, like sub party members. Maybe they have the sprites like on his character portrait, and then that will actually affect his special moves with the different combinations. I think that would be like a cool idea, but there's like so many things you could do because there's a lot of moves in Chrono Trigger. But it's less about the moveset and more about just like the history because the game is super important and has always been like a well-known, like really highly acclaimed game, and the music's good, and they could have a cool stage because of the time travel element. So they could have a stage that represents multiple areas. It just goes back and forth between time periods, which would be cool.
I'm gonna do Elma. I think Elma's even less likely than Fiora, but she seems cool. She got a gun.
She has two guns. Her like main weapon is like double guns, I think.
I don't know. I think having more Xenoblade makes sense.
Yeah. And if they do end up going through with like X and regular, like as like a series thing, which I don't think they will because 2 did so well, and I think they prefer that version. But it would be cool to have X represented in some way because the music's good and the world is cool.
Hmm.
And Elma is a pretty good design and would have a cool moveset because there aren't a lot of guns in regular Xenoblade, so it'd be cool to have a Xenoblade character with guns. I'll do the trendy one right now is Impa. Oops. I don't really think
That's
she's
trendy right now.
yeah, cause she's like a Age of Calamity character, which I don't think affected their choice process for this DLC. Because Impa wasn't in Breath of the Wild, and I don't think she's gonna, or she was, but she was old, and I don't think she's gonna be in 2 at all. But she has a lot of move sets to pull from, and she's in a lot of Zelda games. Like, if you want to keep the trend of only using characters that get reincarnated, like Ganon, Link, and Zelda, Impa's probably the next one you would do because she's also getting reincarnated in each game usually, and she could have like a. I feel like the only problem with Impa is that the main design there is like no main design that they would pull from. Like Sheik, it makes sense. Sheik and Ganon use the original designs. Link uses the most recent ones, and Zelda just uses Link to the Past because that's like just a good design, I guess. Um, with Impa, the most iconic one's probably the Ocarina of Time one, but that one never fights anyone really, and it's kind of a weird design, anyways. The Skyward Sword one's probably the one I would pick because there's no Skyward Sword character in Smash, and it's a pretty good design, and it's probably her most active role in any story. The Age of Calamity design is probably my favorite, but it's like a spin-off game, even though it has like material that's like important to Breath of the Wild. It's still like a Tecmo Koei game, and they've never really done like they've never had Pokken content. They've never had Hyrule Warriors content in Smash, so
Uh-huh.
it's like tertiary, like I don't want to say non-canon, but it's like spin-off stuff. So the only problem and then Hyrule Warriors 1 also has a good design for Impa too with the big sword, but she's only
Yeah.
ever had a big sword in Hyrule Warriors, which is not canon at all, or maybe it is. I don't know, but that's the only reason I don't think we would see Impa because her like skill set and her design is really inconsistent. But they could just decide on one and then go with it and make a cool character, I think. So
I'm gonna pick this. I'm gonna pick Urshifu. I think Urshifu honestly is probably the most realistic Pokemon that get added if a Pokemon character gets added. It's, I mean, he's a fighting character. I think you know what I mean. Like he
yeah,
just kind of fits.
yeah, they definitely pushed him hard in the DLC. Although
Yeah.
they only push him in the Isle of Armor. He's not a character you interact with at all in Crown Tundra, and it just it would seem weird like because they put Min Min at the beginning of the pass, that to me, and there was like no arms anything at the beginning of the year, like that to me made me think there's no Xenoblade because there was a Xenoblade game literally coming out as Min Min was coming out, and they didn't tie it in with that, and that there's no Pokemon because they would have tied
So
Urshifu.
you don't think there's gonna be any more first party?
I really don't. I think they wanted to put Nintendo at the beginning of the pass because they wanted people who like Nintendo to buy it. Because Minecraft isn't Nintendo and Final Fantasy isn't Nintendo, and they're probably just trying new things. This is just all out of my ass, but it's just what I think. So, but I wouldn't be too surprised if there was another Pokemon character, because it's actually kind of strange that there isn't anything from Sword and Shield and Smash now. Although there are spirits, but they should
Hmm.
just patch in the gym battle theme and call it a day, honestly. Although I didn't play Crown or Isle of Armor. I know people that did play it said they liked Urshifu because he's like well developed, I think. So I don't know. I think let's say a Jet Set Radio character gets in a Smash. I don't know if they'd pick Beat or Gum, or maybe they would do both and you could switch between them, which I think they would probably do. But the franchise is super like stylish. So it would be like a cool style to add to Smash. It's got kind of like the trendy, fresh Splatoon-esque style, but it's like way more cel shaded and like spray paint 90s-y. And the music is really, really good, and it would be really, really good in Smash. And I like their character designs, and it'd be cool to have a character on rollerblades. They'd probably be fast, and they would use like spray paint, so they'd have like weird mid-range disjoints probably. They would just be very unique, I think.
Yeah. I I agree. I think the music would be good too. Uh, oh, I gotta take a good look, figure out what I think. Where even are where's their box? I don't even see it. I'm like completely missing it. Oh, there it is. Um, I'm gonna do a Silent Hill character. I don't think so, and I especially because like it's not really like, isn't it the one dude? I don't even know what his name is.
Are you talking about Pyramid Head?
No, not Pyramid Head. Like the main character, or is there not a main character? I thought it was like the same dude. James
Perry
Sunderland is like the
Mason?
most iconic protagonist I think of.
They could do Commander Shepard from Mass Effect.
Oh.
I don't think this will ever happen, but Mass Effect is pretty popular, and
Is Mass Effect even on Switch?
there's a lot of rumors that it will come eventually. But Mass Effect 3 was on Wii U, so
Oh, okay.
you never know. A lot of these are just gonna be you never knows from now on.
Yeah, I think we've got all the could totally be in the game. Chris would never be in Smash. He's like probably the least liked of like the main pro tags.
Yeah, you could punch a boulder though. Got a strong forward smash.
Um, I think I like how you have Deus Ex slash Just Cause. I think the main character from Deus Ex would actually be kind of sick. He's kind of a cool
I think he would be
character.
cool.
I
I
like
like
his
his design.
design.
Yeah. I don't know
Uh,
anything about Deus
and you
Ex.
can have it's. I mean, it would just be kind of like a. He would definitely have like a pistol, but he wouldn't have like degenerate like long range stuff. He would be a lot more beat down. Uh, so I don't know. I like how it's slash Just Cause. I would want Gus Fring in the
Not even.
game.
You mean Far Cry?
Mm,
Oh
I'm
my
stupid.
god, this is just a mess. Anyone who's a fan of any of those three franchises, you're gonna be like, why is Deus Ex and Just Cause on the same thing? And why did he think Far Cry was Just Cause? Far Cry isn't even on here. I don't even know who makes that. Ubisoft? Yeah. They won't.
Ubisoft.
They won't. I have other Ubisoft. It's Rayman or bust, pretty much. But yeah,
I just want Gus Fring, I guess.
that would be crazy. What if Far Cry 6 is like the best-selling game ever, and then they have to do
I'm
it?
thinking about I think I'm gonna get it. I haven't played a Far Cry game in a hot minute.
Oh, hold out.
So who's your pick?
Honestly, I feel like we've been sleeping on Laura Croft. I don't think she'll be in it, but she, for a
I mean,
time,
I said it earlier.
was like the go-to female character, maybe after Samus.
Hmm.
Now I think it's different. 'Cause
I think more so than Samus back in the day. She was like super iconic.
she's definitely well
Um,
known. I've never played any of
yeah,
her games, so I can't even speak
I
to
played
what
just the beginning of it, of one of them, and I have the newer ones on Steam. I just haven't played them. Um, it's interesting you don't have Kratos on here. I just noticed that.
Is there really no Kratos? What the
Yeah.
hell? That's freaking crazy. Oh
Can you just
my
remove the other
god.
Square Enix and then just make it Kratos?
Sure.
Unless I'm just gonna do other Square
You
Enix.
can
I mean,
claim
this is.
Kratos. I'm really surprised. I bet I had it on a previous doc. I just didn't carry it over because that's a
I think
character I
I
legitimately
think
think.
Kratos legitimately has a chance.
I consider him like the Sony character, honestly. I don't think there's a single.
I think nowadays he's more so the mascot than any other
Yeah.
Sony rep.
No, you can have that because I forgot. I don't deserve it because I forgot. Legit, there's so many
He would
characters
be
on here
so
you
cool
can't really.
too. He would be so cool to have in Smash.
There's definitely people molding that will see the beginning and they'll read every single entry to try to find Kratos and then get mad because he's not there. I 100% had Kratos from God of War. I just probably because I remade this a couple times because at first I didn't have like
Mhm.
names underneath and then because I definitely had Kratos in one. But he would be one of the honestly more so than Crash. I think it would be more exciting of a crossover. And he was just in
Yeah, no,
Fortnite.
I
How did I
agree.
miss that?
I agree. I'd like him way
And
more
his
than Crash.
trailer would be crazy, dude. He would be
I'm
killing
I,
Bayo and Palu and
he would
oh
kill gods. He would
yeah,
literally kill gods. Uh, okay.
Godspeed.
Your pick.
All right. Honestly, since Sephiroth, I have like a new like villain itch. So I don't know if you know a lot about Firebrand, but he
I'm
is
gonna look it
an
up right
enemy
now.
in Ghosts and Goblins, which is Arthur's game. But since then, he had a game called Demon Crest, which is really, really good on SNES. And he's been in, he was in Marvel 3. He might be in Marvel Infinite. I don't really remember. But he's got a pretty good design, and he has like a lot of like moves
Oh,
to
it's
pull
this
from.
dude.
Yeah. So I would rather have him than Arthur, even though I wouldn't mind either. But I think Firebrand, because he represents two franchises, and he's a villain, and I think he's cool.
Okay. Uh, dude, the Bravely Default Octopath fans are mauling.
Because I combined them.
Yeah.
They're essentially the same franchise.
Now they're really mauling.
They are. They have the same logo and the same
Uh,
combat.
I'm gonna pick. See, the thing is like there's characters that I feel like if they totally started developing just like what was trendy, I think Crewmate
Yeah,
or
no,
Fall Guy
they
would
have
be
no
like
chance.
would
They're
be
really
up
only there
there.
for
But
the meat costume points. These three.
yeah, um, I'm gonna do.
Other is a pretty sick category, to be fair. This
I'm gonna
other
be,
is every
I'm
other.
gonna I'm gonna do I'm gonna do Strider. I feel like he was rumored for a little bit,
Yeah.
and I don't know. Is he like a ninja, cybernetic ninja type shit?
Yeah.
Okay,
Some shit.
here we go. Let's try to speed this up.
Oh, I'm going faster than you nowadays. I said already that I like Fiora. I don't think they would do her before a new Xeno type game. I think Cosmos is like the best rep because she's like a whole new Xeno franchise, and then Rex is a really good game that you're representing. But Fiora's almost the second main character of Xenoblade. She's in Cross Zone and Shulk isn't, and they brought her back in Xenoblade 2 again. So Nintendo likes her a lot. I think the fans like her a lot. She has a really, really cool design and like cool moveset in like the later game. But um she's just cool. I really just want her because she's cool and she'd bring more Xenoblade stuff.
Okay, can I? So when I do other for Sega, do I fill in who I think it would be?
No, you can
I
say who
think
you
that'd be
think it would
fun.
be, but
I
well,
think it's gonna be. I would say it would be Kiru from Yakuza.
are you
Oh my god, dude, you're actually capping. There's no way that's right. Dude, that was not there. That wasn't there. That wasn't there. That wasn't there. You just put that there to fuck with me. So that's my
what is
character.
wrong with you?
Dude, you put that there to fuck with me. There's no
I was
way I
chilling on
just missed that.
Alucard, bro.
Oh my god. Okay, well, that's my character. I'm glad it was on the list.
Oh my god. This is the Sega section. Alright.
Yeah, and I was surprised why there wasn't any Yakuza on here, but there was.
Okay. I think if there was a Zelda character, I kind of still think it would be Skull Kid because he got 2 Mii costumes and 2 assist trophies. Like, this is favoritism, bro. They know he's been requested for a very long time, more so than any other Zelda character, and more consistently than any other Zelda character. Impa may have had a higher high, maybe Girahim was more requested at one point, but Skull Kid since Melee has been so highly requested, and still is because he's just cool. He'd be a magic character. In Hyrule Warriors, he uses the fairies to hit people, which is cool, and he could have the sickest haunts where he just floats. He might float the entire time. Because Dark Samus floats, but she's not actually floating, you know what I mean? Skull Kid could chill above the ground and you can't down tilt him or something.
You have Agent 47 twice.
There's no way. Oh my god, I do. Did I delete a character? This
Here,
is
just put other square. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe that was supposed to be crazy.
Maybe that's what happened. Although Kratos wouldn't be over here.
Yeah, who knows? Scar.
Scar. On that note, I'm gonna do William from Neo.
Any rationale?
He's a Koei Tecmo character that is pretty popular, and that franchise is seems like it's trying to be one of their headers. I mean, they're literally I feel like they've been releasing the same game over and over again, but I don't know. I'd have to play Neo, but I know Zach really likes it.
Yeah. I've heard good things about Neo. Alright. I'm saying Paper Mario. I've never really been on the Paper Mario train. I didn't play the first 2 games, which are like the best, but I do really, really like Super Paper Mario. So if we got music from that game, I'm assuming the stage. Well, there's already a Paper Mario stage, but they'd probably do Rogueport, like dedicated Paper Mario 2 stage, and he'd bring over a lot of really good music. So I'd be down with that at least.
Yeah.
And there was a new Paper Mario pretty recent.
I'm gonna do the freest one, which is just other.
Yeah, that's a pretty good category. So that doesn't include like other. Like,
I understand that,
Nintendo
but like
stuff,
if it includes anything that's not under
if it ends up
these
being,
umbrellas.
I literally, because this is built to run my cranium, right? So it's hard for me to think of characters I didn't think of here. But if they did like Baldy, you would get it.
That'd be some heat.
He would be hard
You
to
even
beat,
have
man.
you even have
You'd have
Panzer
district.
Dragoon character on here.
Yeah, that's Panzer Dragoon.
Okay.
Alright, I'm doing Wallaby because he's a Kirby
You're
character.
doing.
There hasn't
Oh, I
been
thought
a
you
new
said.
Kirby. Huh? What'd you say?
I thought you said Waluigi.
Is he on here? I
Yeah,
almost.
he's at the top.
That's a good answer, actually. Imagine if he was the final character.
He'd probably
He
break the
breaks out of
internet.
assist trophy. Damn, you're definitely sniping that. But Waddle Dee is the 4th Kirby character. There's 3 Kirby characters, and he would be the 4th. He has a staff, and he could spin it.
There has
to
to be
fly.
4. It's a very well-known fact. Okay, I'm definitely sniping Waluigi now,
That's a good
and
snipe.
yeah, it'd be sick. Like his trailer would definitely be like a very tongue-in-cheek.
It would be emotional, I think. It would be emotional and funny.
It would definitely be like
That's such a
Waluigi,
good
like
final
looking at the
character.
fight from inside the assist trophy,
Yeah.
and then I don't know, he breaks out somehow.
There's so many possibilities too, because maybe Luigi summons the assist trophy and he like hits someone, and it's so CG, so you know what it is, and then like he doesn't disappear, and he's like, what? And like maybe he like looks down and the envelope's on the floor and he starts crying. Oh, I would cry if Waluigi was.
It would break the internet. Okay. Your go.
You would see the most beautiful model of Waluigi ever crafted in that trailer too.
I actually want them to do like a real life, like stand-in actors.
They just get Keanu Reeves as Waluigi.
Oh man,
Alright, that's pretty wholesome.
yeah, Big Chungus.
I think they're pushing Disgaea. Disgaea has. I don't even know who makes it, I'll be honest, because I played very little of 5.
I think Sega makes it. I'm not even capping. I think
It's developed by Nippon Ichi Software and NIS. NIS is Yeast, and I don't have Yeast on here because I'm an idiot.
yeah, no, Sega's not related to them.
Yeah, but I think Disgaea is a little bit more likely than Yeast. I just know Disgaea more. They could do a Prinny, and I think it would be Laharl, who's kind of like the main mascot of the series a little bit. So they would do him, and then he would throw, because you could throw characters in Disgaea. He would maybe have a move. You know how Kirby's down B changes, but it's always the same
Hmm.
move. He like throws a character forward. Maybe it's RNG. If he gets a Prinny, because Prinnies when you throw them they explode. So you like it'd be like Peach's down B, where you pick up the character first and you see what it is, and then if you throw it and it's a Prinny, it explodes, and then you throw it and then it's like other characters from Disgaea. And then that's just one
Hmm.
thing, but Disgaea has so much freedom in how you can design a character that it would be a really cool character. And there's so much music and locations you could pick from too, so it'd be cool. It's a
Okay,
little too niche though, I think.
my pick is being slept on. I think we slept on this. Travis, in a similar vein, would have such a good trailer. It would definitely make fun of the fact that he had a Mii costume. He'd be like, he would literally say it. Probably, he'd be like,
He'd be like, "What a me costume that sucks."
"Are you kidding me?
Yeah, are
This is
you
what they
kidding
give
me?
me?" And then he like, I don't know. The music would be sick. I think Travis would be such a good character to have in Smash. I know you would like him a lot. I
Yeah,
think it'd
that'd
be
be so cool.
very like apt if that's what happened. If they gave him a Mii costume to like do the fake out,
Yeah, I just don't
and
think.
then
I think they would have done
because
him
you
right
say it's weird
after.
that they didn't do any music.
It is, but I think the reason that indie characters bring music with them is because the studios are small enough that the rights are being held by the same company that own
Oh,
the rights to
okay.
the character. So they go to Suda and they ask for Travis, but Suda doesn't necessarily have the rights to Travis's theme song. So I
Okay.
feel like Travis and Smash was more of a favor to Suda than to Sakurai, and Sakurai didn't really want to go through the trouble to get music for a character that he's putting in for Suda's sake. But I don't know. That's just my logic for it. I don't want to get myself excited for that because if it was a Mii costume fake out, I think they would have done it right after they added the Mii costume and not done Sephiroth next. Because now people are thinking about Gino and they forgot about Travis. So the one and only Gene from God Hand. I've never played God Hand and I don't even know who Gene is, but that's a new franchise.
Is Amaterasu the dog
Yeah,
or like the wolf? Yeah,
yeah,
I'm
the
gonna do
male indie
that.
character.
That would be cool.
He'd be
I
cool.
have no reasoning.
He's a stance character in Marvel, so he would probably bring that to Smash too. And it'd be a non two-legged character like Ivysaur, which is like, or Duck Hunt, which is like definitely the variety would be nice. Um, I honestly, this is like a me costume pick for me. A Psychonauts character would be really cool, especially because it's back, and it wouldn't be the first Microsoft me costume by a long shot. Psychonauts is definitely a good game from what I hear, and I'm assuming the second one will be good because it looks pretty good. So it'd be cool to see him as a fighter or maybe a gunner. I actually don't know anything about Psychonauts, so I think his build fits the
Um,
me though, and maybe
I
a little
think
song.
I think I'm gonna I think I'm gonna do Shadow. I feel like that would be like the worst out of the three Sonic ones I have. Just because I think he's gonna be he I mean, he definitely has some like unique things he could do, like chaos control stuff and whatever. But like ultimately, like, I think Amy and Igman are gonna have more interesting move sets and be like more unique than Shadow would be.
Well, I'm gonna steal Knuckles then, because that's the only Sonic character I really, really want. I'd be fine with any Sonic character because it means like a new Sonic stage and new music. But Knuckles would be cool because he was my favorite character when I was young, and my first couple Sonic games all had Knuckles in them.
Um.
I think he's just cool.
Okay. I am gonna pick. I don't even know what Under Night is. What is Under Night?
Under Night is a fighting game. You know Uniclear?
No.
What about Unist?
No.
It's Under Night
You know what?
Inbirth.
I'm gonna pick Bioshock. I want to see a Big Daddy. Let's get a heavy in the game. You have any comment on the Bioshock
Big
character?
Daddy. I've never played
Big
Bioshock,
Daddy.
but I'm aware that it's a good franchise. So I would be totally fine with more good games getting into Smash for sure. Uh, since we're doing heavy characters, I'll do heavy just to continue my monopoly in Valve.
Okay.
Because he might be the
Uh,
most requested Valve character, possibly.
I'm gonna do Alucard. I don't think we're gonna get a Castlevania character. I think we would get one in the future because I think Castlevania was a really good franchise to put in Smash. Alucard would probably be the one I want the most.
Yeah, he definitely would be like the modern Castlevania rep, and he would have a very good moveset, like more interesting, like than the Belmonts, because the Belmonts are like range oriented, whereas Alucard could teleport and turn into bats and do sword attacks and stuff. I think Celeste content will be in the game, probably as a Mii costume.
It's not a bad one.
It's such an amazing game. Like it's such
Yeah,
a
no, that is a very good game.
it doesn't make sense how good it is. And I think a lot of people associate it because it came out so close to when the Switch came out with Nintendo, and because it is like very clearly inspired by the Ice Climbers franchise, like one of the best. So, it would be an awkward looking Mii costume, I think, no matter how you do it. But just a song would be really, really cool. The one fighting myself or whatever would be really cool.
I'm gonna do the Prince from Katamari. It definitely had some weird mechanic with his roll. He would be rolling stuff up. He'd have to like go
Yeah.
around the stage a lot. It could be kind of cool. I don't think it's gonna happen, but that's like because it's like a kind of a dead series. It seems like I don't know if they've made any new games. I know they republished the one, but like that's a
I want
franchise
the
that seems like pretty.
music's so good.
You know, the music would be some heat.
He's also a taunt. He's one of Pac-Man's taunts, like Heihachi. Um, and Advance Wars characters feels like overdue. That used to be like Intelligent Systems' other franchise, and now they're just Fire Emblem and Fire Emblem and Paper Mario. So it'd be cool to see him back and to get a proper stage and some proper attention.
I think it's time for this. The least likely.
You know that that's a risky category because if there are no online improvements, you lose 6 points.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So if you get it right, you get six
I'm
points. If
doing
you
it.
lose it, you
I'm
don't.
doing it still. I'm doing it still.
Oh my god, you madman.